You too, so judgmental.
What's up, folks? Stay calm, Bruce.
Give me your money.
No problem. The necklace. It's okay.
After Bruce Wayne's parents' tragic death, Batman was born. As said by the infamous philosopher Albert Camus, one always finds one's burden again. Batman's burden is his never-ending battles with the villains that haunt Gotham. Villains such as the Scarecrow, who is obsessed with fear and wants Batman to feel it. Harley Quinn, who attacks him only because Joker is her boyfriend. Riddler, who knows Batman's identity and wants to expose him. Two-Face, a villain who blames Batman for his girlfriend's death. Killer Croc, who's only trying to kill him because he's jealous of the attention he gets. And last but not least, the main bad guy, Joker, who thinks Batman is his only worthy opponent. Another scene from the first Gotham movie shows that immediately after Batman finishes fighting Scarecrow, he finds another clue hinting that the Joker is planning another evil scheme. I see that man going back down with a heavy measured step towards a torment of which he will never know the end. This refers to the idea that someone does the same thing over and over again without figuring out that they are the ones who caused the situation. Soon Batman realizes that as long as he's around, villains will come and attack. The situation becomes too surreal for him, so he fakes his own death. This is his way of retiring, so hopefully the villains will stop attacking his beloved city. Throughout many movies, comics, and TV shows, it is clear that a hero cannot save everyone no matter how hard they try. As quoted by Camus, "This is the rock itself. The boundless grief is too heavy to bear." Batman's rock is the idea that he cannot save everyone, so he blames himself for failures against villains. Batman experienced immense amounts of grief after the death of his sidekick Robin, because he believes it is all his fault. He also blames himself when his lover Rachel dies after she gets mixed up in a villain's scheme. Throughout the DC Extended Universe, Batman's absurdity evolved and becomes something even more absurd. Batman vs. Superman is an excellent example of this. Even though the movie is absurd enough by itself, Batman's ideas and characteristics become more unreasonable. Batman's need for repetitive fighting causes him to have worries and doubts about the fellow superhero Superman, even leading to a very, to say the least, interesting battle.
You're letting him kill Martha.
What does that mean? Why did you say that name?
Find him. Save Martha.
Why did you say that name? Martha, why did you say that name?
Stop! Please, stop!
Why did you say that name?
It's his mother's name! It's his mother's name.
His character and absurdity doesn't just change throughout the movies, but the comics as well. Throughout the years, comics have changed a lot with 4 distinct eras. The first being the Golden Age, 1938 to 1950, where comics first started introducing the heroes we know and love today. In the Golden Age, Batman's character wasn't too irrational. He was needed, and the villains he was fighting actually did evil things. This changed when the Silver Age of comics began in 1956, where comics were heavily regulated. Batman's arch-nemesis, the Joker, went from a mass murderer to a silly prankster, making Batman more of an absurd hero than ever. He was no longer stopping crimes, just petty pranks. Without him, the city of Gotham probably would have been fine. But he still found satisfaction in the useless task of stopping the Joker's constant, trivial inconveniences. The introduction of the Bronze Age made Batman no longer as ludicrous as he was. In 1970, comics no longer followed code and were free to publish whatever social issues and violent acts they pleased. However, unlike the Golden Age, the Bronze Age focused more on the psychology of the characters, and the Modern Age, 1985 to today, essentially doubled down on that. Throughout these two eras, Batman is no longer as absurd as he was before because he becomes more useful to Gotham by protecting them from villains that are actually threats. Even still, throughout all of these ages, he will always be an absurd hero. His presence will always bring an endless number of new villains to fight.